Silvio's had pioneered home delivery in Australia. I'm out of Red Hill here in Brisbane, so the first business to deliver pizza. When we bought the Dominos business, I actually ran the Dominos business in Sydney, and the founders of Silvio's ran Silvio's for 2 years before we merged the two brands and rebranded to Dominos. I remember we were losing about $100,000 a month. It was a real lot of money in 1993. And having the courage to keep trying to go forward when really, we weren't on television. So it was pretty humble beginnings, and that keeps us pretty humble today. 31 years I've been here, realistically, the first 15 years, we still struggled. We didn't start making any money till about 2002. When you think of through the 80s all the way through to 2001, we were just climbing this hill with a vision of trying to get there, but it's only been the last really, 17 years, 15 years that something's happened of any notability for our business.
Don, when he started in the business, we went through this baptism by fire in the Sydney experience. But he had the courage to go out, take his own money, and put it on the line, become a franchisee. And when he got started, he did double what the average volume store was doing. So from the very early piece, he was able to demonstrate that he understood the basics of what makes the customer keep coming back, which is what the business is built on.
We licensed Dominos in 7 countries, Australia, New Zealand, France, the Netherlands, Belgium, Germany, and Japan. Market leader in each of the countries, which means we're the biggest pizza delivery carry-out business in any of these countries. Boy, when four stores, it'd been 40 team members or something. And today, it's something like about 60,000 plus team members, mostly employed by our franchisees, but we do employ still about 20% of those team members. Well, our business was worth nothing in the early days. We were just pioneering ourselves along. But when I became the CEO in 2002, the year before, the business made $1 million EBITDA, and this year will be somewhere between 260, 270 million.
We sit here today with a business, worth $3.5 billion. When it went public, 2005 was 120. And so the expectations are, if you're climbing the mountain, what's tomorrow? One of the compliments to Australian kind of management, and Domino's management in particular, is that they are very good at listening rather than broadcasting and dictating. And so you go into a new society, a new place, and you have to understand what that culture is. Australia's never conquered anyone. We don't carry this mentality that we're going to change the world to be like us.
To be a global leader, to lead in a number of different geographies around the world, you need to be continually focused on the model and try to remain objective to data and information. Get out of the opinion land and try to leave your tourist view of the world behind. There is no such place as Europe, by the way. They're individual countries. I can tell you, they're very, very individual different countries, and stop trying to give those analogies. Talk about the facts and the data and the information. That's what leads success. That was in and around 2009, I think, or 2008. We said death without digital. So the organisations in the future were going to die unless they embrace digital. And that's where we were actually going to be one of the companies that embrace digital so much. We're going to be that fish against the stream and get a lot of this growth. So yeah, that's a culture that we're always trying to drive here, that fail cheaply and fast so that you get big successes. We've been the fastest growth fast food company in Australia the last 5 or 6 years of any scale because of the digital side of our business. But always know at the heart of that, it's still because of we're a food business, and that this is still, these are ways that we're engaging with the consumer, because more and more consumers are moving to the net. That's the internet of retail. And the internet of food, we're very dominant in the internet of food. I wonder if people realise how big a Queensland business we are, and that we create technology used by, Europeans and the Japanese and other parts of the world. We pioneer things that are used by other franchises around the world, and it's created here in Brisbane. So we were excited as an Australian company to be one of 3 Australian companies that made the Forbes 100 most innovative companies on the planet. One of of the most frustrating things when you order a pizza on the phone is you can't remember the 1.2 million variations of product you can create. The best thing about that iPhone app is you could build 1.2 million variations of food. Without a doubt, there was going to be the best experience, a pizza store in your pocket everywhere you went. We're not doing ridiculous amounts of capital into this because we're partnering with people. So we have partners that are the robots and the drone experts. We're the retail experts. Today isn't dependent on those, but tomorrow's success, in my opinion, is dependent on having those. So they're just part of how we think.
This business is only as successful as the franchisees are. This business is not a corporate entity that runs its own store. The majority of the business is run by franchisees. So the fact that you've got that army of a couple thousand stores, which you got individual operators that are out there, got their money on the line and working day to day to make it a success is really, really important.
We've committed to the market that we'll have 4,800 stores by 2025 in the 7 countries that we currently exist in, but we think we have the capacity to do more.
He's the CEO of the company and he uses the term Chief Enthusiasm Officer. And I think that says a lot as to he's the chief cheerleader. His leadership style is one of inclusion. You know, how do we bring other people up? Their backgrounds, I think, are important. You look to leadership people, these are people that know how to run a business. Domino's would not be what it is today without the dedication, drive, and smarts that Don May has brought to this business.
In my natural instinct is to be pretty aggressive at things and a great sense of impatience that there's so many things we could do if we just pushed a little harder and made some bigger, bolder decisions. And that's something that Jack's always been coaching me all the time, is that you can't get taken out of the game.
Rule 1 in business, stay in business.
So Domino's wouldn't be where we are today without Jack's guiding hand, his discipline, his insights as an entrepreneur that's helped to guide many of us young people behind the scenes to be what we are today.
The fact that from very humble sort of roots of a company that built itself by lifting it up by its own bootstraps, of being self-financing, to get to the stage whereby it could go public and then build this business into a 7-country, 2,400 odd stores around the world today, out of Brisbane, Queensland, Australia.